All right, guys, I am officially done with SpiritBorn, and I'm going to tell you why, because, well, it happened. Okay? Typically, when I log into games, guys, what happens is this: is I logged into SpiritBorn this season because of two reasons. Is one, nobody was playing it, and so I was like, you know what? I'm going to be the emo kid who's going to do that, right? And so I was like, I can still make Spiritborn fun. It was so good last season. It was really a fun, fast pace, move all over the screen class. I really liked it. And so this season I was going as hard as I could. Couldn't get Starlight, couldn't get Starlight, couldn't get Starlight, still can't find Starlight. And so I ended up at this point where my build crushed T2, couldn't really do tier 3, Torment 3. Couldn't really do it. And I was farming Lord Zir, trying to get, an ancestral staff and some other different pieces, and trying to just get something together so I could build some different builds, etc. And I was level 119. I think I'm 147 Paragon, 146 Paragon right now, right? But I started going and doing Lord Zir, and here's what happened. I went to go do Lord Zir. I added a bunch of people to my group. And one of the people in my group was a blood necromancer. Keep in mind, this is on T2. And so here's what the guy did. Is we were in a group of 4, right? Full group, 4-man, Lord Zir, tier 2. This guy, the boss didn't even spawn. He hit one button one time, and he was dead. I mean, instantly dead. And we did a rota, and then next thing you know, after the rota, we did another one, and I said, hey man, on this one, let's just see how fast we can kill it, because I think we had a Sork, we had me, we had I don't remember what the other one was, but it didn't matter. It was not a blood necro. It took us so long that we ended up having to ask the guy to just come in and finish it. And he pressed one button. He pressed Blood Wave one time. Legitimately, I don't know why it's lagging, guys. He pressed it legitimately one time, and the boss fell over. And at that point, I realized that I picked a bad class. Now, here's what happened, is I went into the pit. I had to farm like tier 45 because anything over that was just taking way too long. So I went to tier 50. I got it so that I could unlock Torment 3. But when I changed it over to Torment 3, nothing would die. It was just taking so long to do everything. And the amount of difference, obviously, between the torments of like loot drops is negligible at best, right? So like, there's no reason to do a really hard torment higher when you can just do an easier torment lower and get the same drops, right? So it was frustrating because I always like to play on the hardest difficulty and try to go as high as I can, and I was stuck to the point where I wasn't even getting a Paragon level. Like, I was getting like maybe 3/4 of a Paragon level per run. And I was trying to unlock my 5th board so that I could put in my 5th glyph. And I was like, okay, maybe when I get my 5th glyph, then I can turn it up to Torment 3. Got my 5th glyph. Didn't matter. Wasn't enough of a power boost. And keep in mind, I had farmed the base uniques that I would need to run. And I farmed them up in tier 2. And I was just smashing tier 2. But the amount of difference was insurmountable, like to the point where it felt so bad that there was no reason for me to play it. And then I showed up, and there's a rogue running around, just spinning around, and I mean murdering everything in seconds. And I look, and his Paragon level was like 30 levels lower than me, and I was slamming everything I had into these guys. I went and followed some build guides. I went and looked on YouTube to try to figure out what I was doing wrong in my class. And you know what I found out? What I was doing wrong? I was playing SpiritBorn. That's what I did wrong. Because go look up SpiritBorn builds in Season 7. You will find 0 people playing current builds in high-end content. You will not find one. You will not find a single person playing it. It's actually insane, right? Like, it's actually insane. So, like, if you look up any other class, there's builds, right? There's people playing them. But when you go to Maxwell, you look up the guides. None of the guides are updated past the day the season started, which means they're the guides that they put out pre-season without, being able to test the actual stuff going on inside of the season. And it was just theory crafted builds. They hadn't been updated since, which means that the people weren't playing them, right? So I was like, okay, no one's playing this class. So either I have 2 options. I can figure it out and sit here and crunch math and go farm gear in T2 and go try to figure out what build is going to be powered enough to allow me to do Torment 4. Or I can roll a barb. I can play Spin to Win. I can play Earthquake. I can play Hoda. I can roll a Necro and I can do minions. I can do Blood Wave and I can literally crush the entire game. I can play Druid and apparently I can just Cataclysm 150s in 2 minutes. And I found this all in 2 minutes on YouTube. And I'm sitting here going, oh, okay, so I'm just playing the wrong class. So here I am, re-rolling. And it just feels bad. It just feels bad. So that's what I think the state of SpiritBorn is currently. Now, again, I'm sure that when, Woody starts to play or, Chronix or some of these other guys who, eventually over the course of time, some of the bigger guys who are smart will go play SpiritBorn. But I love the play style of the class. It's so smooth. It's so much fun. It's just well designed from like how it flows. The abilities are cool, but it is weaker than any season where they always talk about, oh, Sork's the worst, Sork's the worst. I played a Sork every season, and I've never had a problem. Like, I can always get into Torment 4. Like, there's no issues. I can get into Torment 4 on all those characters because there's always a couple builds that you can choose from, right? With SpiritBorn, I don't see a single person playing it on day 3. No one's maining it. No one's trying to create builds. No one's theory crafting, unless I'm missing somebody. And so I basically said, you know what? Like, I'm not going to be the guy who sweats and theory crafts and goes and tests damage on a target dummy to see, is Stinger with this and this hitting harder than Touch of Death with this? And if I get this aspect and this witch power to this level, can I get this and this and cheese this and maybe squeak out into Torment 4 when I hit 200 Paragon? When I know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I have I got a Shaco off of a Lord Zir kill. So immediately when I hit level whatever, as long as I have level 60 on this guy, as long as I have the aspects, I win. Right? Like, I can immediately go and play some of the hardest content, quickly level my Paragon, and get more fun. And then my goal is once I level my Paragon up, then I will feel more confident going back to my SpiritBorn and using, an extra 100 Paragon levels to see if I can get the damage to where it seems and feels somewhat decent. And, by then my witch powers will be actually where they probably should be. Hopefully we'll have all of them unlocked, etc. Right? And so here we are getting rid of SpiritBorn. And now I guess we're rolling Barb. And it really sucks. And it makes me sad. Because I was watching North War, and he's obviously figured out some cool builds for Sork. And I'm thinking SpiritBorn is the worst class in the game at high-end content. And I don't think it's close. Now, again, there might be a build or a creator or a bug that come out and, make me look really, really foolish. But as of day 3, as of right now, or whenever this came out, right? Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So day 4, as of day 4, there ain't nothing.